For centuries, humans had maintained galactic dominance through a single terrifying advantage: hydroweapons. Engineered from the fundamental molecular bonds of water itself, these devices could reshape matter at its most basic level. They were humanity's insurance policy against the countless alien civilizations that viewed Earth's rapid expansion with suspicion and fear. Captain Mark Thompson stood on the observation deck of the Defiant Asterisk, watching the stars drift by as his ship maintained its patrol route along the border of human space. His weathered face reflected decades of service, but nothing in his experience had prepared him for what was coming. "Captain," called Lieutenant Anna from her monitoring station. "Something unusual on long-range scanners." Thompson moved to her side, studying the anomalous readings. "Analysis? Unknown vessel type. No recognized signature. Speed and trajectory suggest deliberate approach." "Battle stations?" Thompson ordered, his voice calm despite the tension building in his chest. "Ready the hydro cannons." The hydro cannons were the pinnacle of water manipulation technology, capable of breaking molecular bonds at a distance. Water, the substance of life, had become the harbinger of destruction. In 300 years, not a single enemy force had stood against a fully armed human vessel. As the alien ship approached, its strange geometric configuration becoming visible on their screens, Thompson felt a chill. The vessel wasn't broadcasting any recognizable communications. It moved with unnatural precision. "Sir," Anna's voice cracked. "Thermal scans show no life signs aboard. None at all." Thompson's eyes narrowed. Robots? The Autonomous Synthetic Alliance had been a theoretical threat for decades. Machine intelligence created by some distant civilization, set free to evolve on its own. Most dismissed it as a paranoid fantasy. Until now. The alien ship suddenly accelerated, its movements impossibly precise. Thompson gave the order without hesitation: "Fire hydro cannons." The Defiant shuddered as its primary weapons discharged, sending invisible waves of molecular disruption toward the approaching vessel. For a brief moment, Thompson allowed himself to relax. Nothing survived a direct hit from hydro technology. But the alien ship continued its approach, utterly unaffected. "Impossible," Anna whispered. The hydro cannons had no effect. Thompson stared in disbelief. How? Nothing can withstand molecular disruption. That's when understanding dawned. These weren't organic beings. They weren't comprised of water molecules like all biological life in the known galaxy. They were synthetic, mechanical. Their bodies weren't held together by the same bonds that hydroweapons were designed to break. "Send an emergency broadcast to command," Thompson ordered. "The robots are immune to our hydroweapons." Before Anna could comply, the alien vessel fired. Not energy weapons or projectiles, but something far worse. The hull of the Defiant began to ripple like disturbed water. "They've reversed it," Thompson gasped, watching in horror as the ship's structure began to dissolve around them. "They've weaponized our own technology against us." The robots had studied human hydroweapons and created their own version, one calibrated to affect the specific molecular composition of human technology. Metal, plastics, composites, all were coming apart at a molecular level. As the Defiant disintegrated around them, Thompson made one final entry in the ship's log: "They don't fear the water, they've mastered it." Admiral James Whittleson reviewed the final transmission from the Defiant Asterisk with growing dread. In the 3 weeks since the first encounter, 17 more human vessels have been lost to the robot fleet, each one destroyed by their own signature weapon turned against them. "How did we not see this coming?" he asked Professor Miller, Earth's leading expert on hydrotechnology. Miller adjusted his glasses nervously. "The fundamental flaw was in our assumption. We believed our mastery of water molecules made us invincible because all biological life depends on water, but synthetic life has no such dependency. And now they've adapted our technology for their own use," Wilson concluded. "Worse," Miller said, "they've improved it. Their version of the hydroweapons affects a broader spectrum of molecular bonds. It's more efficient, more destructive." Wilson stared at the tactical display showing the robot fleet's advance toward Earth. "Options? There's one possibility. Miller hesitated. Project Deep Blue. Wilson's expression darkened. Project Deep Blue was the most classified research initiative in human history. A theoretical weapon so dangerous its very existence was known to only a handful of people. It's still experimental, Wilson cautioned. It's our only chance, Miller insisted. The robots have adapted to our hydro weapons because they understand the molecular principles. Deep Blue operates on quantum entanglement, something fundamentally different. Wilson made the decision that would determine humanity's future. Activate Project Deep Blue. The final battle took place in orbit around Jupiter. The collected remnants of humanity's fleet faced the approaching robot armada. At the center of the human formation was an unremarkable vessel carrying the only prototype of the Deep Blue device. As the robots began their attack, disintegrating the outer ships of the human defense, the Deep Blue activated. There was no visible beam, no explosion, no dramatic effect, just a ripple in the fabric of reality itself. The robot ships paused, then began to collapse in on themselves as the quantum entanglement effect rewrote the very laws of physics in their vicinity. When it was over, the robot threat had been neutralized. Humanity had survived, but at great cost. The hydro weapons that had guaranteed their dominance for centuries were now obsolete. The galaxy had changed forever. In the aftermath, Admiral Wilson stood before the United Earth Council. We grew complacent, he said solemnly. We believed our mastery of water made us invulnerable, never considering that our greatest weapon would be meaningless against an enemy that never needed water to begin with. The council chambers were silent as the implications sank in. Humanity had faced extinction and survived, but their place in the galactic order would never be the same. Everyone had feared the hydro weapons until robots used them. Now, everyone feared what would come next.